Hey fellow makeup addicts, this is Jen and welcome to my channel. This is my first makeup tutorial, so please bear with me, and I'm doing a tutorial on this look right here, but let's get started. I always start off with priming my eyes with a concealer. This is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the shade NW20. You can pretty much use any concealer that you want. I don't really like actual eye primers. I don't think they do too much, but then I'm going to go in and set a nice transition shade on my eyes. This is Soft Brown by MAC, and I'm using a Laura Mercier brush that I got a long time ago. But I'm going to link another Laura Mercier brush that I think is similar, so you can use that instead. By the way, if anybody would want me to list any dupes for any of these that I'm using, let me know and I'll see if I can do that for you. Then I'm going to go in with vanilla and rice paper, and I'm going to take that on a 242 shader brush, and I'm going on the inner corner of my lid. I'm not going up too high, and I'm not going out past the middle of my lid. Just in the corners to highlight. Then I'm going to go in with your standard Scotch tape. I don't always do that, and it's not a requirement, but it makes it super clean and easy to do your makeup. Now I'm going to be taking the shade Texture and a 221 MAC mini tapered blending brush, and I'm just going to be putting that right above the crease. Then you're going to see I'll take it afterwards and use the 224 blending brush and blend it out. By the way, I'm sorry if my voice is cracking. I lost my voice, which is why I didn't do a talk through tutorial. I really wanted to do one, but I just wanted to get started with shooting this video. Then I go in with brown script using the same method, the mini tapered brush, and then going out with the blending it out with the 224 blending brush. There is no method to doing this. I literally just blend it out and up and sweep it back and forth, and then the makeup just starts blending. So then I'm going in with Swiss Chocolate by MAC, and I'm using the 217 goat hair brush and just adding it on the outer corner of my eye and going slightly above the crease. Now with this one, because it's the lighter brown, I usually blend light to dark. This one can go a little bit above the crease. When you start going with the darker colors, then you want to keep it as close to the crease as possible, and then you can just start blending up. If you want to blend it out more, you can, but I feel like it creates a nice smoky color when you can start low and then blend it up. I feel like if you start more above the eye, you'll start to get that raccoonish look. But then it separates nicely and blends. So then I go in with a clean 217 brush and just start blending out the Swiss chocolate that I started packing in. And it's pretty much the same method here, moving the brush back and forth, move it around in little mini circular motions throughout, and back and forth, and this process takes a long time. So be prepared for this to take the longest out of all your makeup. And then I go in with ground brown and brown down, and I just combine the two on the same 217 brush, and then I pack that on the outer corner of my eye, and I kind of go in about in the middle of my eyelid, and the same thing. I don't go too far in, like absolutely in the middle corner of my eye, but I kind of go up and around halfway through. And then when you start going through with the clean 217 brush, it'll start blending out, and it won't be necessary. It'll start kind of going in on its own. So then you'll see, then I'm going in with the clean 217 brush, blending it up, blending it out, blending it out, blending it out, etc., etc., etc. And then you're going to see I'm going to go back with a clean 224 blending brush and sweeping it out. Same thing. I say sweeping it out a lot. I don't know why. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to blend it up and out. And now I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow color Aubergine. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I have no idea, so I apologize if I totally botched it. And the same process on the outer corner, packing it in and packing it a little bit up in the crease, not too much, and then going in with the clean 217 brush and then the black 224 tapered blending brush. Same thing, speeding it up a little bit to save you time because you get the point. Back and forth, back and forth. And then I'm going in with the flat shader brush again with the rice paper and just going back over the spots that maybe I got some fallout from those darker colors. Now I'm going to take MAC Carbon and use a MAC 214 brush to kind of pack it in, and I'm just lightly making a line in the absolute, like the farthest corner of my eye, and then I take a MAC 226 blending brush and just blend and blend and blend. By the way, I know I made a lot of reference to the MAC 217 brush, goat hair brush for the blending. There's another brush that's pretty much similar that I use as well, and that's the Morphe M433. I think there's another goat hair brush that's pretty much the same, but they all kind of do the job. I like the goat hair more. I feel like it picks up more. It doesn't spread it out too much, and it blends it nicely. It picks up a lot of color, and the goat hair does the job versus the black. But for using the carbon on the outer corner, I like the synthetic brush better. Then I'm going to go in. This is the Maybelline Studio Lasting Gel Liner, I think it's called. I'm not too sure. In the color Blackest Black. I'll link it down below, so it doesn't really matter. And I don't know what brush this is. I've had this brush forever, and it's like the tiniest, like smallest angled brush in the world, and it works perfect for making that wing. I feel like if I use any big angle brush, I screw it up all over the place. So I almost like a flat-ish brush with a tiny bit of an angle and not too many bristles, because that's how I feel you make the most mistakes. If anybody wants a tutorial on how to do this specific liner, I can make it. But I feel like this is what takes me the longest out of everything, to be honest, other than the eyeshadow, but I can make that video if you want it. Then I'm going to go in. I don't like primers for the most part, but this one, I don't know what it is. This isn't really a primer. It's more of an anti-aging serum, and it is the Boots number 7 Protect and Perfect Serum. I got it at Target. I'll link it down below. Then I'm going to go in with my foundation, and this is the MAC Pro Longwear Foundation. I don't see a lot of people mentioning this foundation, but I absolutely love it for my everyday. This look is not everyday, but I literally use this foundation for every day. And when they say it'll last you 15 hours, it will last you 15 hours. It is the longest lasting, most durable, wearable foundation I have ever used, and I am super picky with my foundations. I don't know why. I feel like this foundation is super underrated. Maybe because if you use any other technique other than using like this Morphe brush that I use that picks up a lot of color and product, it'll just look really bad. And you'll see that I separate the foundation and this into sections because this foundation specifically dries really fast. So you have to be sure to get on it when it comes to blending it out. Otherwise, it'll start to look bad. Now, this under eye portion is a lot of steps. You do not have to do all of these steps. I'm 100% Lebanese. I have those Arabic under eyes. If you're Arabic, you know what I'm talking about. So I found the hardest situation for me is to figure out how to properly conceal my under eyes. So none of this is a requirement if your under eyes are not a problem for you. But I go in with this MAC Studio Finish Skin Corrector in the color orange to offset the bluish green undertones I have in my under eye circles. And then I go in with the Urban Decay 24/7 Concealer Pencil. And I believe this is the shade DEA. And I go in with a damp beauty blender and just dab it out. Don't be careful not to take the concealer pencil too far past the orange, because with this I'm just concealing under the eye. I'm not totally highlighting and concealing yet. Then I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay Naked Weightless Skin Concealer. I love this concealer. I love the handy dandy little brush pencil that it comes with. It's not really a pencil, it's more like a brush. But then I go in with the same damp beauty blender and just lightly dab it. A little tip with the beauty blender is the harder you dab, the more makeup you pick up. So if you want a heavier conceal, make sure to lightly dab. Now I'm going to go in with the MAC Studio Care Blend. It might not be the Studio MAC Care Blend powder. And I take a concealer brush and I literally dab the powder and just set it underneath the eye. I don't go any further out and I don't go as far down as the concealer goes. I just cover up where it's most likely to crease. And I feel like this has been the best method for avoiding the creasy part. Now I go in with a pencil brush and I go in with the texture and I just sweep back and forth under my eye. And then after I buff that out, I'll go back in with Swiss Chocolate and a flat definer brush by MAC. This is the MAC 212 brush. Any flat definer brush will do. And just pack it in the upper inner, as far in as I can with the Swiss Chocolate. And then I'll dip the pencil brush back in either texture. Sometimes I'll take a more red color, a copper-ish color, or even a gold color. And then I'll just buff it out and sweep it back and forth and back and forth. And you'll be able to tell when it's been blended out on the bottom. You might hit that awkward spot where you start to blend it and it doesn't quite look like it's blending it out. That's the point where you need to just keep going and continue to blend. And then I take the same flat definer brush, the same 212 brush, and I think I just took ground brown with this one. And same thing, go back in with the pencil brush, dip it in the texture, and blend it out over and over and over again. By the way, I don't know what kind of pencil brush this is. I think it's Morphe, but I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't say on the brush. Usually Morphe brushes do, and usually MAC brushes do, so maybe it's neither. But literally any pencil brush is going to be okay. But now I'm going to go in with the MAC Eye Kohl in the shade Smolder. It's just the blackest of the black eyeliner, and I love this. This is my go-to eyeliner for anything, and I'm just going to line my waterline. Then I'm going to take the same flat definer brush and use the Aubergine, the Anastasia Beverly Hills shade, and just pack it up in the bottom line of my eye, and I don't buff that out. I leave it as is. Now I'm going to go in with the MAC Full Coverage Foundation in the shade NW40. This is for the contour, so it's obviously a darker shade than my normal skin tone. I know it looks a little orange on the screen. It's not that way in person, I promise. And then I just make a line where I'm going to contour on my cheeks and then under on my chin and the top of my head. And then I'm going to take the MAC 130, it's a duo fiber brush, and just start blending it up. Remember to blend it up, not down, on the cheekbones. And this brush is awesome. It'll start blending it on its own and lightly blend it up. And then I will start to blend out my chin. And I'm going to speed it up because you get the point, and I blend the chin down. And then I'll go through on the forehead. There's really no method for blending it. Just blend it close to where the product is. Just kind of blend it in, blend it in, blend it in. Make sure there are no harsh lines. And then I go back in with the Urban Decay Naked Concealer, and I do in between my eyebrows, right in the middle of my forehead, the top of my nose, the Cupid's bow, and the very bottom middle of my chin. Then I take a wet beauty blender and just dab it in the middle. It'll create a nice highlight. I feel like when I don't do this, a highlight under my eyes will really show, and it'll just be obvious that it's really light and the rest of my skin isn't so bright. Now I'm going to take the Benefit Hoola Bronzer, and this is just the brush that the Hoola Bronzer comes with, and I love it. And I'll put the bronzer lightly. I don't put too much product on my brush. And as you can see, I will put the product where we put the contour from the MAC Full Coverage Foundation. And now I'm going to go in with a blush. This is a 130 brush from MAC. And this is just a regular MAC blush. The color, I believe it's called Melba. And I just put it on the cheekbones. And now my absolute favorite part. I love a good highlight. I love this palette. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette in the That Glow shade, and the color I'm using is Sunburst, I believe. I just dust it above my cheekbones, and sometimes I will use my finger for a little extra shine because I love a little shine. But now I'm going to go in and bake with the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I take the damp beauty blender, the same damp beauty blender I was using before, and I only tend to do below my contour on my cheekbones. I don't really do it anywhere else. Sometimes I'll do it on my forehead. I definitely do it under my eyes because, like I said before, I have a problem with dark under eye circles, so I feel like it adds a little highlight. And then I'm going to take my blush brush and just brush off any excess powder where I don't want the baking to be so that it doesn't bake on my blush. And now I'm going to do my brows while I let the baking set. And this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in the shade, I'll have to double check on the shade. I think it's dark brown. I'll link it down below. But this is what I'm doing with my eyebrows. If you want me to do a full brow tutorial, I will show you. But I'm just going to show you a little tidbit of what I do. I do the right one and then the left one, and then I kind of outline in the middle first, and then I do the bottom, and then I'll start filling them in. But if you want a full in-depth tutorial, I can show you. I just feel like this video is going to be long already. But then I go back and I just take any fluffy brush will do, and I brush off the excess powder from when I baked. I love that word, baking, because it literally will bake your skin and it will sit on the places where you set it. Then I kind of go back with the highlighter because I'm highlighter obsessed. Now here's the trick with what I do with my winged liner is I go in with the MAC Liquid Last Liner and I go over where I put the gel liner, and I feel like that is what makes it the blackest, the darkest, the most bright. It'll pop. I feel like when I just use the gel liner, it doesn't give it that much of a pop. So what I do is I'll literally outline that gel liner and then I'll just fill it in, and then I'll go through and coat my lashes with the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash. I love this mascara. It's like one of my favorites. And then I just put the top coat of the mascara on the top lashes, and I don't necessarily do the bottom lashes yet. I'll do that after I put on the lashes, which is next. And these are the Lily lashes. I love the Lily lashes. I believe these lashes are the Sapphire lashes, and they're nice. They're fluffy. They're not too heavy. I like to be able to see the product that I put on my eyelashes, or I'm sorry, on my eyeshadow. So for the most part, sometimes I like lighter lashes. And then I'll go through and coat my bottom lashes with the same mascara. And then I'm going to do my lips. And real attractive. High five to whoever can call that movie reference. And this is MAC lip liner, just a regular MAC lip liner in the shade Soar. And there's nothing tricky to this. I'm literally just going to outline my lips. I overline on the top part of my lip just a little bit, but nothing too fancy. Just going to outline. And then I struggled with deciding what color I wanted to do, but I outline and then I fill it in just a little bit. And I apologize. My lips are super chapped. They've been super dry and they look horrible, but that's what we have lipstick for. So I'm going to use... Oh yeah, get it, get it. I'm using the MAC lipstick in the shade Cream Cup, and I've gone through so many of the Cream Cup lipsticks. It is seriously my favorite lipstick. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far, and let me know what you guys think.